we are supposed to understand about yoga. So that is yoga here is the Ashtanga yoga and different parts of the yoga which we have to understand, in which the main is the how we understand about yoga, the history of yoga, that is introduction to yoga and yogic practices. What is the meaning of yoga? The word yoga is derived from the Sanskrit root known as yuj, meanings to join, to unite, to integrate, to harmonize, to discipline. Here, one more word is important known as unite means unify. So, yoga in Sanskrit, it is not given here, is unification of unit consciousness with the cosmic consciousness. Sanyoga yoga iti uktaha jivatma paramatmana. Yoga is the unification of unit consciousness with the cosmic consciousness. Yoga is both practical discipline and spiritual science. It is not limited to religion, caste, nationality, or age. Yoga is a universal method for achieving total personality development. Ancient sages discovered that human suffering arises due to imbalance between the body, mind, emotions, and spirit. Yoga restores harmony and leads the practitioner towards health, peace, wisdom, and liberation. So, in one word, actually, we can say that yoga is unification of unit consciousness, that is the body, mind, breath with the soul, that is cosmic consciousness. Here the soul is, that is Sanyoga Yoga iti ukta Jivatma Paramatmana. Yoga is the unification of Jiva with Shiva. Jivatma, जो हमारा unit consciousness, which is the unit consciousness, and Shivatma, that is the cosmic consciousness or Paramatmana. So that way, your body, breath, and the mind, that is the unit mind, with the cosmic mind, that is Paramatma. So according to yogic philosophy, the body is the vehicle, Atmanam Ratinam Vidhi Shariram Ratmevatu. The mind is an instrument, and the soul is the true self. So Atmanam Ratinam, the shlok is not here. I will give you the another reference of the shloka. Atmanam Ratinam Vidhi Shariram Ratmevatu Buddhintu Sarthi Vidhi Mana Pragramevicha. If your Atma, that is the soul, is awakened, then your body is the vehicle of your life, Rath. Okay? And Buddhintu Sarthi, that is the consciousness in the form of your intellect, is your is your mind in different levels. That mind is when is governing towards governed towards the consciousness, then that mind is called as intellect, and intellect towards the intuition. And if that mind is governed by the body consciousness, that is the indriyas, the senses, then it is that mind is mana, that is the sensual mind or the sensory mind, that is the mind of the kama man. Here, when in the higher classes, when we will learn about the koshas, then you will be able to understand that this panch koshas, that is different layers of the mind. What is it? So we move ahead. That yoga is a method of realizing this truth, that is unification of the unit with the cosmic consciousness. So the true self is the soul is the true self, and yoga is a method of realizing this truth. Now, yoga helps the practitioners to move from disease to health, restlessness to calmness, ignorance to wisdom, limitations to expansion, ego to universal consciousness. Yoga is the process of uniting individual consciousness with the universal consciousness. The shloka which we told. Okay, are you able to hear? आवाज आ रही है?
जी आचार्य जी।
Okay, good. Right. So this is what individual consciousness means, Jivatma. So Sanyoga Yoga iti ukta Jivatma Paramatmana. Yoga is the unification of Jivatma with Paramatma. So body, mind, spirit unification. So that is the actual real definition of yoga. Right. अब इसमें और भी definitions will be coming. The other definitions will also come. The human life and the cosmic life, that is, yoga is not merely physical exercise. It is complete science of life that aims at physical health, mental balance, emotional purification, intellectual clarity, moral upliftment, and spiritual realization. Purpose of yoga is the ancient yogis never considered yoga merely a physical culture. The purpose of yoga is complete transformation of human personality. The main purpose of yoga are attainment of physical health, control of the mind and senses, development of concentration, emotional purification, expansion of consciousness, spiritual enlightenment, liberation, that is moksha. Right. अब ये देखो ये जो whatever we spoke just in the shloka, that is yoga is the unification of unit consciousness with the cosmic consciousness. So unit consciousness will have all these things, all the pursuits given over here, that is the physical body and the other things. Now the yoga practices, that is including the Ashtanga yoga here. Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana and Samadhi. So going back again, Yama means that is ethical discipline and social restraint. Your control yourself, your restraint yourself with the society is known as Yama. Yama has, we will, in the further classes, we will understand there are five Yama: Ahimsa, Satya, Aste, Brahmacharya, Parigraha, and Niyama is the personal observances and self-discipline. So that way, your control to yourself, that is personal restraint, is Niyama. Niyama has again five, that is Shauch, Santosh, Tapah, Swadhyaya, Ishwar Pranidhan. That will come in the further class. Asanas are the steady and comfortable postures. In Sanskrit we say Sthir Sukham Asanam. Means Sthir means stable, right? Steady. Sukham means comfort, comfortable. Okay, posture means a position, a posture, that is asanas. Pranayama is the control and the expansion of the vital energy through breath. Here, prana, I am means the channelization or the control of your prana means the vital energy. The vital energy is channelized towards the consciousness is pranayama. Pranayama is like you will see in the conventional teachings of today's yogic practices. They will do some breathing exercise and that is called as pranayama. No, that is not the pranayama. Pranayama actually is that you are able to control your senses. That is pranayama. Then comes dharana, that is concentration, and dhyana. So dharana here is not merely concentration. Dharana means a focused concentration on something which is having a meaning to the life, meaning to a sort of subject. That is the chakras meditation or concentration on one point with a breathing and a pattern of thoughts, that is called as mantra. So that way it is becoming dharana. Dharana is not simply concentration, like there like dharanas like tratak, in which you put a candle in front of you and then you are concentrating in front of that candle. That is also a type of dharana, but that is only physical. But if you are having a consciousness, a thought within yourself towards attainment of the supreme consciousness, then that dharana is the real dharana with the mantra. Mantra means mantra. Man means mind. Tra means liberation. That is liberation of your mind is mantra. Then comes dhyana, means meditation. What is dhyan? Meditation. It is not meditation that you just. There are people teaching today that is the breathing meditation. They will tell that focus on your breath, or they will tell you dharana type of meditation, that is concentrate on one point, or concentrate on one point, maybe center of your eyes. They will tell to concentrate or focus, like Brahma Kumaris will tell to focus on one point. Then there are Vipassana meditation, which will tell you to do meditation, means concentrating on different parts of the body. That is actually not meditation. Meditation means dhyan. When we say dhyan se padho, means concentrate, means study with meditation, with dhyan. Or we say drive with dhyan. Dhyan se gaadi chalao. So what is that dhyan? In that, are you closing your eyes? you are doing anything with your soul, with your consciousness, with your inner self is known as dhyan. So anything which is done with the inner self is known as dhyan. So inner self means anything driven within yourself. That is why an artist who is absorbed in its music or painting and forgets about their worldly attributes of maybe eating, sleeping, drinking, or anything, or attachment to the world. If you are completely detached and then attached towards that, then that is actually the real dhyan. Then the resultant of all these three, that is super consciousness absorption, is known as samadhi. Samadhi means complete merger with the supreme consciousness. Means you realize God. That is self-realization. Is the stage of samadhi. Samadhi, the people in common say that you leave your body and you are don't not coming back. That is not actually samadhi. Samadhi means oneness with the supreme consciousness, like the realization in the stage of Kabir, Mahavir, Buddha, means all the gurus of Sikh, that is Guru Nanak Dev, and right from him, everyone. That is the stage when they realized God, or anyone in that level of consciousness. When you see the state of Buddha or Mahavir or Guru Nanak or Meera and Kabir or Sai Baba, all these stage when they are in the world but they are detached from the world, right? So this way, that is the state of this samadhi. Now, the benefits of yogic practices are physical benefits, that is, improves flexibility, strengthens muscles, enhances immunity, balances endocrine system, improves digestion and circulation, and corrects postures. Okay. Now, mental benefits is, that is, reduces stress and anxiety, enhances memory and concentration, develops emotional balance, improves sleep quality. Then spiritual benefits are awakens. See, let us a bit more words for this mental benefits. Reduces stress and anxiety, enhances memory and concentration, develops emotional balance, improves sleep quality. This is not only that of yoga and meditation. No, mental benefits here is something that is you are awakening yourself, your attachments towards the worldly life, that is when you are attached with the world through your body, that is the senses, eyes, nose, ears, skin, and tongue. You get your mind going towards the attachment to the supreme, that level of consciousness. And then upper chakras, upper kosas, when you're detached from the worldly attractions and you're attached, that is also a state of mental consciousness, which is called as devotional consciousness. So you develops your emotional balance and attaches towards your devotion. That is also, emotion to devotion is also a work of the yogic practice. Now, the spiritual benefit
Acharya ji,
awakens your, yeah.
I'm really sorry to interrupt, but I think we have missed the point and I wanted to confirm in the yogic practices points, the point number 5, that is Pratyahara. I think I'm pronouncing it right.
Yes.
Could you please explain that point? I'm not clear there.
Pratyahara did not, so nice. Thank you so much. I missed that point, na? Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for reminding. See, Pratyahara is very important, and I am thankful to you that you have just raised this and you connected. Sorry. Pratyahara means withdrawal of the senses from the external object. It is very important part of the yoga. See, the today yogic practices are external. You see, the first four, yama, niyama, asanas, and pranayama is known as bahirang yoga. Okay? External yoga. The pratyahara, dharana, dhyan, and samadhi are the internal yoga known as antarang yoga. Bahirang yoga and antarang yoga. Okay? So antarang yoga is pratyahara starts from here, that you withdraw your mind from the external senses and take your mind towards the objects of the internal consciousness. That is, pratyahara means you are supposed to think only which is supposed to be thought by you. Suppose you are supposed to do studies, and you are thinking about maybe about your issues related to your home, or maybe your mind is getting attracted towards something, uh, your attachment with your friend or anyone, you wanted to go to visit any good place or market or purchase anything, and your mind is getting diverted. So you need to do pratyahara. What you will do? You will immediately bring your mind and focus on the thing which you are supposed to focus. So pratyahara is actually supposed to bring back your mind with a concentration, with a focus on the things which is actually supposed to be thought. So withdrawal of your senses from the external objects means whatever is distracting your mind from the external things is known as pratyahara. So that way all these things, that is dharana, dhyan, and pratyahara, is interlinked to each other. Because you need dharana, you need concentration or focus to do pratyahara, and even you need pranayama to do pratyahara, because you will tell, take a deep breath and focus. Then you will be able to do pratyahara properly. So pratyahara needs pranayama also, right? So let me go ahead. So now the mental benefit is done. Anything else? Is it okay?
Yes. All right.
Very nice. Okay. Now the mental benefits. It is we studied mental benefit. Now spiritual benefit. That is awakens inner awareness, develops intuition, leads towards self-realization, and cultivates peace and bliss. This is the spiritual. It is not only that. Here, awakens inner awareness, develops intuition, leads towards self-realization is okay, and cultivates peace and bliss. Atmokshartam jagat hitaya cha is the spiritual benefit of yoga. Atmokshartam means self-realization, that is given here. And what about taking care of the humanity? That is also a spiritual work, which is a part of yoga. That is, you should take care of the suffering humanity. Swami Vivekananda was doing a lot of meditation, and his guru asked that, what do you want to do in the life? He said, I only want to do meditation and get salvation and self-realization. So then Lord Ramakrishna said, oh, Narendra, would you not like to become that banyan tree under the shelter of which this, from the scorching heat of the troubles and the torments and the sufferings of the inhumanity and uh, the problems of the troubled nature, are you not going to help that humanity to become a shelter in under your compassion and the love and compassion of your banyan tree? So that is what is important. Service to humanity, service to God is also a spiritual part of yoga. So that is why then Swami Vivekananda realized. And he realized and he became Vivekananda from Narendra. Vivek, his conscience awakened. And he merged into Anandam. Anandam means bliss. Vivek means conscience, and Anand. So he's Anandam. He attained the state of the consciousness in which he was in the bliss, complete bliss. Now, let us do a bit of history and philosophy of yoga. The history of yoga. That is, yoga is one of the oldest sciences of human development. Its roots extend thousands of years into ancient Indian civilization. Yoga evolved gradually through spiritual experimentation, meditation, discipline, and philosophical inquiry. The development of yoga reflects humanity's search of truth, freedom, immorality, and higher consciousness. The history of yoga can be divided into different periods. Pre-Vedic yoga, that is, pre-Vedic period is what? The period dates back to the Indus Valley Civilization, approximately 3000 BC. Archaeological excavations at Harappa and Mohenjo-daro revealed seals depicting meditative purpose and resembling yogic asanas. The famous Pashupati seal shows the figure seated in the meditative posture surrounded by the animals, suggesting early forms of Shiva worship and yogic meditation. Archaeological findings from the Indus Valley civilization show meditative posture resembling yoga. Now, here, before going this, pre-Vedic is actually the, here we have to see it is not Indus Valley civilization, pre-Vedic. It is maybe it is a wrong interpretation here, and we need to correct maybe the AI, that is ChatGPT, who has given this information. It is Adi Yogi we call Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva was during the time of pre-Vedic, means he was maybe 10 to 15,000 years ago. Also, the Vedas evolved, and after that, Lord Shiva physically was here as a means after the human beings were living, after the Homo sapiens had evolved and they were living as a family life. Then Lord Shiva came and he taught the family system, that is human civilization. That was when he taught how to live. And he started the family life after getting married to Lourdes Parvati. So that way, Shiva he was the first person who married and started a family. So that way, it is, we call that he him as the Adi Yogi. So this is something more than means around 10,000 years ago, right? So this way, if it is BC, that is 3,000 only, then it is only 5,000. And that is, of course, Indus Valley, but yoga has the history beyond that. And even if you say Maharshi Patanjali, it is maybe it is during that time. Okay. So we have to understand Shiva. Of course, he's talking about Shiva worship. But actually, Shiva himself has given the yoga and all these yogic practices, which we will be studying later on. Now, the Vedic period, that is, Vedas contain references to meditation, mantra chanting, breath control, spiritual discipline. Important Vedas, Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sam Veda, Arth Veda. That is, these four Vedas are almost 15,000 years old. When there was no scriptures, then also these Vedas were here. So Vedas are having the examples of the yoga. So that is why it is very old. The date cannot be understood. The Upanishadic yoga, that is Upanishad, explains about Atma, Brahma, meditation and liberation. So different gurus are there, all the rishis, the names, different names will come in our further teachings. So then you will find that these Upanishad are having these different forms and different names of this. Then epic period, that is yoga teaching appear in Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana. And now if it is talking about Ramayana, so it is pre-Vedic, okay, which we call as Treta, Dwapar and Kali Yuga. So that is not known how many years before. Of course, if you talk about Mahabharata, then it is around, it is said that 3,500 or to 5,000 years ago, Lord Krishna was here on the earth. And Lord Shiva maybe around 7,500 to 10,000 years ago. Means it is a rough this thing. My guru actually says that Lord Shiva was here 7,000 years ago, and Lord Krishna was here 3,500 years ago. My guru, that is Sri Shri Anand Murti ji, said like that. Okay, so that is yoga in Bhagavad Gita, which is explained, and you will find a lot of verses. We need to study Bhagavad Gita. That is why we need to understand Sanskrit, and we need to read Sanskrit to understand these slokas. Okay. So, and all the Patanjali Yoga Sutras and different, all the so many verses, we need to know the Sanskrit. So, when you will read Bhagavad Gita, then you will understand what are the yoga and different parts. In Bhagavad Gita, it is Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga. Different chapters are explaining this. Different chapters of Bhagavad Gita are explaining this. Like Karma Yoga is explained in the second chapter to third and fourth chapter. Karma Sannyas, that is merging with the Bhakti Yoga. Then your comes at your from there, from fourth chapter onwards, the Jnana Yoga also starts. Then from sixth chapter onwards to 12th chapter up to there, your Bhakti Yoga is there. So different, and Dhyana Yoga up to that, up to 18th chapter, up to there. So different explanations of different chapters, right? Now the classical period, that is the father of yoga, is known as Maharshi Patanjali, the sage Patanjali. He only systemized yoga. That is why he is called as father of yoga in the name of Ashtanga Yoga, the names which we read. That is Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, and Samadhi. We just read. That is given by Maharshi Patanjali, father of yoga. Today there is, I mean, a different name of Patanjali, and there are groups who are actually selling Patanjali, have made a sort of business of Patanjali also, but that is not Patanjali. Patanjali is Ashtanga Yoga, okay? Then which we will be studying in elaborate. And Patanjali defined yoga as yoga chitta vritti nirodha. Yoga is a cessation of modification of the mind. That is, here we need to explain a bit more, because earlier we studied the definition, that is yoga is the unification of either unit mind with a cosmic mind. That is unity, union. So how your cessation of the mind can be explained? So that way, here it is said that you have to chitta vritti nirodha. Here nirodha means to cessation, means to control, and then channelization means, that is union, unification. Channelization towards the supreme consciousness. When you are able to control your vrittis means propensities. So you are able to channelize your propensities towards the higher consciousness. When we will study different chakras and the chakra balancing, different yoga, the Tantra yoga, the Kundalini yoga, then you will able to understand that is what is actually the channelization of your different, when you are able to control your negative propensities or the propensities driven by the animal instinct towards the spiritual. That is said, ahar nidra bhayamatunancha samannimetat pashu vinaranam dharmo ite shamdik vishesho dharmenina pasu visamana. That is, ahar means food, nidra means sleep, bhaya means fear, and matun means procreation or mating or sex. So food, to remember, food, fear, sleep, and sex are the four propensities of the animals. Humans are those who can channelize them towards the path of dharma. That is, dharma actually is the real yoga. And that way, you are supposed to channelize, not just do the cessation, but you have to channelize. So that way, yoga is control as well as channelization of your mind, that is connected to the propensities. Now comes the medieval period. In the medieval period, that is, we have the names which is today very famous, and the Hatha Yoga, Tantra Yoga, Kundalini practices. This is a bit wrong interpretation. Here, Kundalini Yoga was actually, that is Tantra Yoga, was given by Lord Shiva during the ancient period. So that we have to change it, correct it, that the Tantra Yoga was given in the ancient, that is the pre-Vedic age, when Shiva was here. Okay? That time only the Tantra Yoga and Kundalini practices. Of course, with the Hatha Yoga, it was developed, with the Ashtanga Yoga incorporated. Okay? Then comes the important text in the Hatha Yoga, that is Hatha Yoga Pradipika, Gheran Sangita. In Patanjali also we have Patanjali Yoga Sutra, which is given here, Patanjali Yoga. And Bhagavad Gita also, the different texts are there. These texts, Hatha Yoga Pradipika, Gheran Sangita. So there were Maharishi Swataram and Swatmaram, and Maharishi Gheran, then Maharishi Gorakhnath. All these things, all these were given by this thing. And Shiva Shamhita is also, that is Shiva come from Shiva Upanishad. Okay. Then modern period yoga is spread worldwide through the great masters such as Swami Vivekananda, Swami Shivananda, whose actually Shivananda yoga is very famous. Okay. Paramhans Yogananda, Tirumalai Krishnamacharya, BKS Iyengar, Patabi Joyce, and my guru's name is not here. Okay, that is Sri Anand Murthy ji who has given Rajadhiraja Yoga. Okay, we will also coming about even Brahma Kumaris who are talking about Raj Yoga. So this way, these names also has to be included. Please remind me, and we will correct this notes. Then comes the philosophy of yoga. Yoga philosophy explains the nature of existence, sufferings, mind consciousness, and liberation. The philosophy of yoga is practical rather than merely intellectual. It teaches methods for overcoming sufferings and attainment of direct spiritual experience. Yoga philosophy is mainly based on yoga philosophy, that is Sankhya philosophy, Vedanta, and main concept that is Purush and consciousness and Prakriti, that is material nature. Here we say that is Purush, that is consciousness, Shiva, and Prakriti, that is the Shakti, Adi Shakti, the Purush and the Prakriti. We say in the Sutra, Purush, that is Shiva, Shiva Sakatyatmakam Brahma, Shiva and Shakti, Purush and Prakriti together makes Brahma, or Krishna and Radha together makes Brahma. That is universal consciousness. So this way concept, this is a Purush and Prakriti together, that is Brahma. That when you will understand the Brahma Yoga Sutra based on Bhagavad Gita, then you will understand more about the Sankhya philosophy given by Maharishi Kapil Muni was given, who is a propounder of the Sankhya philosophy. That is Vedanta has been given by different gurus like Madhvacharya, then Ramanujacharyas, Advaita Vedanta, Visishta Advaita. So Asad Darshan, this also we will study. Okay. Then Ramanujacharyas and other. Then there is Dvaitavada also, that is dual philosophy. Charvak philosophy, that is material philosophy here given here. Then we will study about the three gunas, that is Sattva, Raja and Tama. Sattva means the purity. It is said that three gunas, the Trigunatmika Srishti Matrika says Trigunadhara. The three gunas are the creation is because of these three gunas. There was only consciousness, that is Shiva. Then he created the Shakti, that is Prakriti. And there was a vibration or the frequency in the consciousness, and that frequency started this creation of this Sattva, Raja, and Tama. Sattva means Sattvic, that is sentient. Okay, that is pure and harmonious, purity and harmony. Of course, sentient here means divine also. Okay, and then Rajas means activity and passion. So you can say here the human consciousness is more towards the Raja Guna, as well as those who are into the spiritual path, they are into the Sattva Guna. Sattva means almost the frequency is almost zero, and wavelength is infinite. Mathematically, if we will interpret that way, okay. And Raja means there is a frequency. There will be maybe gamma, delta, theta waves will be there, alpha waves, gamma waves, delta waves, right. So this way, when it is completely straight line, then you are merging with the God, and that will come through the sattva. And tamas means the inertia. When there is completely beta waves and mind frequencies is maybe 14 to 20 cycles per second, then that is completely tamasic, static, inertia, static. And raja means mutative. Okay. So according to these three gunas, the nature also is based on the three gunas, and there is Trigunatmika, Srishti Matrika, Ashesh Trigunadhara. The nature, Triguna, is Srishti, that is the creation, is based on these three gunas. How the consciousness creates the Panchabhutas, that is earth, water, fire, air, and sky, that is Prithvi, Jala, Agni, Vayu, and Akash. So I'll be giving you the next time the PPT presentation, and then you will be able to understand more about this. Okay. Then aim and yoga philosophy, that is the three, to free the soul from suffering and ignorance. That is the first level. And then comes the different definitions of yoga and misconceptions about yoga. Definitions of yoga have different philosophies, different these things. Just we'll go fast. Then we will go further in this definitions in our next class. That is, different scriptures, as I was talking, speaks different. That is, different masters, different philosophers, different gurus, and as different names has come. Like Patanjali's name as Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Yoga is the control of the mental modifications. So channelization also is important. That is why Bhagavad Gita says, Samatvam Yoguchate. This is actually the half uh, shloka in Bhagavad Gita. You need to note down and maybe have a reference today. That is Bhagavad Gita is talking about, that is Samatvam Yoguchate is that is Yugasya Kuru Karmani Sango Tvakta Dhananjaya Siddhi Asiddhi Samavutva Samatvam Yoguchate. So this is shloka number 48, chapter number 2, shloka number, verse number 48. That is, Yugasya Kuru Karmani Sango Tvakta Dhananjaya Siddhi Asiddhi Samavutva Samatvam Yoguchate. So this reference you can see, that is chapter 2, verse number 48. Then comes Yoga Karmashu Kaushlam. So this is chapter number 2 again and verse number 50. That is Buddhi te jahati ve sukrite duskrite tashmat yoga bhaya yoga karmashu kaushalama. So that way, this is the definition, and the meaning and explanation is simple. That is, here that Samatvam Yogucha means the shloka, when you complete, then you will understand that yoga means whatever, siddhi asiddhi, whether you gain or lose, whether you win or lose, whether you get the success or the failure, that is siddhi or asiddhi. Your karma is actually your action, which is able to decide that what actually you will gain. So whether you lose or gain, you should be always balanced. In that state of the mind, when you are in the equanimity, in the balanced state, that state of mind is known as yoga. And yoga karmashu kaushalam, buddhite jahative, sukrite, duskrite, tasmat yogaha, yogasya karmashu kaushalam. That is, sukrit or duskrit means good action or bad action. In all these states, you are in the balanced state. Okay. Then that state of consciousness, when you are still performing the best and you are giving the best of yours, that state of consciousness is yoga karma shukasana. Then Swami Sivananda, yoga is the integration of harmony. Right. And Aurobindo says yoga is the consciousness union with divine, which actually Sri Sri Anand Murti ji, my guru, also says that what Aurobindo is saying in the shloka, that is Sanyoga Yoga iti uktaha jivatma paramatmana. Yoga is the unification of unit consciousness with the cosmic consciousness. Okay? And yoga, now misconception about yoga is, today yoga has been made physical. Okay? No. Not only physical exercise, and reality is that yoga includes ethics, meditation, spiritual growth, and self-realization. So yoga is basically internal. Today the yoga say that I do yoga. मैं योग करता हूँ. No. योग किया नहीं जाता, योग में जिया जाता है. You don't do yoga, you actually live in yoga. Yoga is a lifestyle. Yoga is the unification within yourself, to live within yourself. So actually human beings live with yoga within yourself. I live in yoga. Yoga means I live with union of my soul. Without my union with my soul, I cannot even take one breath. So I cannot, my existence or anything's existence in this universe cannot happen without yoga. So that is why yoga is actually the basic essence within. So the reality is that yoga is the universal and can be practiced by all. So that is why yoga has universal consciousness. Okay. So yoga is only for flexible people? No. Yoga is suitable for everyone. Maharishi Ashtavakra, here I will tell you. If you read Ashtavakra Gita, Ashtavakra Yoga, the Ashtavakra, Asht means 8, Vakra means bending. So he had arthritis, Maharishi Ashtavakra, and at the age of 14 years, he was able to realize the Brahma Vidya, the Brahma Yoga Sutra, that is the Advaita Vedanta. What Adi Guru Shankaracharya realized at the age of 8 years, what this Sant Gyaneshwar realized at the age of 12 years. Likewise, there were different saints. It is said that is Maharshi Dhruv, who was also King Dhruv, who realized at the age of 5 years. So this self-realization has different age. So that is why yoga is not actually this, that it is for only one, or it is for everyone. Okay. Now, second one is yoga belongs to one religion. No, yoga is universal, practiced by all. Third is yoga is only flexible for flexible people. So Lord, this thing, Ashtavakra was having different bends. So here in Jivagram also there are so many arthritis patients whom I teach chair yoga, whom I teach higher consciousness yoga, connectivity with yoga. So that is why the yoga which Lord Krishna taught to Arjuna on the battlefield is actually unification, union. He taught about Brahm Vidya, and he told him that you are doing nothing. You are nothing, I am everything. मैं ही सब कुछ करता हूँ, मैं ही कराता हूँ. ठीक है ना? Likewise, this is